Let us say from a perspective which we were doing some last week. First and foremost, let us see what is this God that we are talking about. The God is called the Supreme Divine Consciousness. Okay, the Supreme Divine Consciousness then splits up into basically various domains like Purusha and Prakriti. All right, Purusha is the sleeping kind. He doesn't do anything. The working kind is Prakriti. So Purusha being a silent observer, he is basically like a witness to everything. There is no entity called Purusha the way you look at it. That means God is actually a non-doer from the spiritual perspective, which is also written in the Bhagavad Gita, that he doesn't do anything. Everything is done by Prakriti. Prakriti is that which is manifest domain, manifest that which is created, everything that is created. Now let us say, for example, what are the things that got created. I'll just give some examples. You can nod your heads or you can tell me whether it is created or not. First, birds, animals, men, all these things, are they created? Yes, you will say it is created. Now tell me something. um, Anger, greed, are they created? They are. They are created. Brito, your Indian no is this or yes? This. I don't know whether this is yes or no. So the thing is, even anger, greed, a thought is created. Even a thought is in the domain of creation. So when everything is that is there, which you can touch, feel, experience in this material world, anger, is it not experienced? Yes. If somebody gets angry with you or you get angry, are you not experiencing anger? Of course you are experiencing anger. Suppose somebody gives you one gali, okay, you stupid. That stupid is just a word, but it hurts us. The moment somebody calls us stupid, it hurts us. So even words can hurt us. So it creates a reaction. Anything which is experienced by the senses. How many sense organs are there? You can raise your hands and tell me, no problem. Okay. Six. There are six sense organs. Okay, five you know about. The sixth one is called the mind. The mind is the highest sense. Okay. So the sixth one. So anything that is experienced or understood by the mind is there in the domain of the manifest alone. Got it? Now I am going step by step. Listen to it carefully. First, we were talking about Purusha, the unmanifest. We are talking about Prakriti, everything that is manifest is understood by us. All this is coming under manifest domain. Purusha doesn't do anything, Prakriti does everything. Alright. Now we come to the step number 3. Anything that we attribute as human beings to God. So we are attributing it to the unmanifest domain. We are not actually telling Prakriti you are doing it. We are saying to the unmanifest you are doing it. You can only do attribution. Can you catch hold of Purusha? No. So you can't see Purusha, you can't experience him, you can't feel him, you can't do anything about it. So if you can't do anything about it, how can you even, like, at least you want to murder him, at least you can make a, the dartboard and say Purusha तेरी तो Purusha. मार तो सकते हैं, बोला तेरी वजह से मैं सब सफर कर रहा हूँ. At least you can beat him. But you can't beat Purusha at all. We can't blame him. You can't blame your anger onto him. You can't blame anything onto him. So for normal human beings who are in the domain of our normal world, okay, that is what we call, okay, those who are general public, the general public attributes everything to God. God. See, if you don't know, you are allowed to attribute. Okay, if you don't understand, you can say God did this, God did that, God did everything. Fine. You ask a person on the road also who is a believer. We are not talking about non-believers, we are talking about believers. You ask, बोला आज कितना पैसा मिला तुमको, भिखारी को पूछेगा कितना पैसा मिला, ओ भगवान की कृपा से आज हमको 10 रुपए मिल गए. ठीक है, उसको 10 रुपए मिल गए अल्लाह की कृपा से. ओके, और अगर कुछ नहीं मिला तो आज तो कुछ भी नहीं दिया, उसने कुछ भी नहीं दिया, उसने मीन्स गॉड. So is again attributing to God. So in his world the doership rests with the God. Just now 2 minutes ago we learned doership is not with him, it's with Prakriti. So for a normal human being, everything, for the whole world, the doership rests with the God. Got it? Now as we move into the spiritual world, spirituality is moving towards self-realization. See, this is point number 4. I hope you all understood point 1, 2, 3. First, Purusha doesn't do anything. 2, Prakriti does everything. 3, normal people in the material world attribute everything to God. As you move into the spiritual world, because you want to move towards the next step, which is called in spirituality, the step is called self-realization. The step is called self-realization. So the 4th step is everything is attributed to the self. The self is the one that is. So there is no God outside, there is God inside. There is no God outside, there is God inside. So the one who is on the pathway towards spiritual, the spiritual path is that self-realization path, will always say the doership, I am not the doer. I am not the doer, yet everything is done by the God. So if you see, there are certain verses in the Bhagavad Gita where he says very clearly, I'll read one verse to you. This is chapter 13, verse 21. Only the Purusha, in association with Prakriti, experiences objects of the nature of the 3 gunas evolved from Prakriti, and his attachment with these gunas, and is responsible for the birth of this soul in good and evil wombs. This is one line. I will go to the previous line. Okay, now see how the steps I told you, how they are drawn. Prakriti is said to be responsible for bringing forth the evolutes and the instruments. So line number 2 is proved over here, right? Prakriti is responsible. She does everything. Okay, now line number 4, which I said just now. While the individual soul is declared to be responsible for the experience of joy and sorrow. First, we have been going around for last, I think now many years now, telling you there is no individual soul. There is no individual soul. If there is an individual soul, then there is no Paramatma also. Okay. All right. So let us say this. So the reason why he writes in this line is it is a very tricky line. Okay, it is an extremely tricky line in which he's talking something which is not understood even to a normal person. While the individual soul is declared to be responsible for experience of joy and sorrow. These are the words of Krishna telling Arjuna. Now if you understand the syntax properly, you will know that Krishna is not saying this. While the individual soul is declared to be responsible for the experience of joy and sorrow. You know how he is talking?
Wise men.
Yes, you got it. The wise men are saying, so I never said anything. See, I am innocent. Krishna is very chalu in these type of things. He will never put anything on his head. He will say, the wise man says, individual soul is responsible for all the joys and sorrow. I am not saying, okay, you don't count me in. I am just telling what those wise fellows are saying. They are wise fellows. That's why they said something. So he puts everything onto the head of these wise men, that is sages and saints and all that, and says those guys talked. So this is the fourth part which we were talking, line number 4. Everybody attributes this to the divine. Got it? So 1, 2, 3, 4. Now we come to line number 5. That is the fifth definition of it. When you are a devotee of the Lord, when you are the devotee of the Lord, the devotee says, Karta dharta to wo hai. Karta dharta wo hai. That means everything he does. But he is the super boss. I have to do everything for him. Understood? He only sits over there and orders. Hey, mera computer on kar, chal. And poor me, I have to put on the computer. Hey, पानी लेके आना एक glass. पानी लेके आना पड़ता है. बोला अभी है ना तो वो कौन सा कश्मीर टू कन्याकुमारी का डांस करके बता, वो भी करना पड़ता है. Yeah, you कथकली है. And finally at the end of it all, Krishna will say, मैंने क्या किया? So this is the fifth kind where it's a very beautiful word. That is why it is called rasa. Rasa means taking the essence out of it. Essence. It is like perennial motion. Have you heard of perennial motion in physics? I'm sure some of you must have heard. And those who have failed in physics can raise their hands. Okay. Perennial motion. Is that perennial motion? Oh, stupidest thing is in our house, we used to have in our showcase that duck will go like this, like this, like this, like this. Constantly. And that fellow was on for the last donkey's years. Finally someday mummy says, ये क्या बदक को तू है ना पानी देते रहता है, ब्लू कलर का पानी पीता है, उसको उठा के फेंक दो. And then the duck will stop going. So that's a perennial motion. We are in constant perennial motion. That means human beings which are forming the yin and the yang, that is the soul, individual soul, supposedly. Now again, supposedly, remember the line, I didn't say that word. Okay, supposedly the individual soul and the body are in constant motion. Okay, now I told you there is no individual soul as per Krishna. There is only one Paramatma. Then that, what does it mean? Every individual, not the soul, remove the word soul from there. Every individual is in constant motion with his own self. This is line number 5. Got it? How does this work? It is like, think about it. If you go to the what do you call that, all these fun worlds and all that, Disneyland and all that, you will find that the merry-go-round is just going around without any children in it. So his world is in perennial motion. Every horse over there can be called a gopi. Got it? Every horse over there can be called a gopi. The gopi visualizes the Krishna sitting on top of the horse. So it believes that it is in constant motion because it is all in that huge Disney world. And Disney world is Krishna. Did you understand? In his domain, everything is in constant motion. So if we go back to the Bhagavata, there is a verse where he says, Krishna in the Rasa Leela was dancing around and suddenly he vanished. every gopi was still dancing around on their own. So we are like that. So we were doing this verse. Now I know this explanation is slightly extended. Now we will come to the basic question. So these are 5 steps which we have to think of. Now we come to the person in 3, 4 and 5. Alright. Now the line number 3 states, normal human beings, because of their incapabilities, attribute everything to God. Correct? So every person, 99.9% people in this world attribute everything to some divine thing. They do not believe that they are the doers. They will say God gave me this, God gave me that. Naseeb ka kaam hai, you know, luck. I am very lucky person. You see, the non-believers will say they are very lucky, isn't it? See, they got a lottery, so they will say I am very lucky, I got a lottery. Believers will say, oh, God was very kind, he gave me $1 million. Okay, and government is so unkind, they took 40% of it. So that is also there. So by the way, did you see that yesterday's one news? No, I'll tell you about the tip. No, you don't know about the tip. In one of the New York restaurants, there were 2 ladies who were sitting over there, and one lady, she's telling this waiter, that waiter was very bored character, okay, because nobody had come in the afternoon for lunch. So he was a very bored character, and he said, yes ma'am, and he will go and get something, and again, yes ma'am, again he'll go and get something. Went on. Finally the lady is telling, I am going to reward you today. And when she paid by her card, in the tip below, she gave him $200,000 in tip. Okay. Now this guy, after you sign the check and all that, who cares? Anyway, today is a boring day. New York is useless. Abhi kuch ho nahi raha hai. Everybody has gone for that 9/11 thing. Okay, what am I to do? Nobody wants to come and eat. So that poor fellow was, hanging around, and suddenly another woman, or both the women vanished. And then you open and $200,000 tip. So he went running looking for his manager and his boss. After some 10 minutes, he could find his manager. The manager says, "Pagal hai, तेरे को एक मिलने वाला नहीं है पैसा." $200,000 as tip. The maximum tip that is disallowed is 30% of the total bill. It's the rule of the card company that you cannot pay more than 5 or 10% as a tip. So he got the $200,000 in a tip form, and God proposed and credit card company disposed. So think about it. So he didn't get anything. So now think about it. This is what, so everybody says, God gave me, God gave me. So this is the normal human being who says God gave me everything. The second type of a person who is in the spiritual world, he will say the doership may not be with the God. There is no doership with God. So the doership is lying with Prakriti. She is the doer, because he started learning about spiritual. Little he started Bhagavad Gita, little he started the Bhagavata and all those fancy books that are there, big fat books also. And he says, see, it's written in this book, God is not the doer. Okay, Prakriti is the doer, and Prakriti is nothing but his gods and goddesses, that are, what is the deities as we call them. They are the people who do all these kalakandi. So we will go and tell them. So they do not attribute anything to this God. God is the capital G. Okay, they attribute it to small God, small G od. Got it? So they say, in this material world, the Prakriti, the domain which is created by this great god called Krishna and Father in heaven. He has these aeons and archons who are doing it. All these devs and devis and devtas and Lakshmis and Saraswatis and Parvatis and Shivas and Vishnus and all, they are the ones who are doers. उनको उनके सिर पे डाल दो. So we will all go to Kartikeya Swami temple. What is that? Subramani Swami temple and this temple and Navagraha puja and that puja. So we go and say, boss, ये नवग्रह का बहुत है ना, शनि का ये हो गया है, राहु का शांति करने का है, पता नहीं किसका और क्या करने का. So we keep on doing all those type of things, right? So attribution is to small god. At such point in time, the second type of a person says God is not the doer, Prakriti is the doer, I have to do what I got to do. Right? Now we come to number 3. We have now entered the domain beyond the first unmanifest, and we are going to second unmanifest. We are not enjoying New York. Now we are going to Washington DC. नई दिल्ली से हम सीधे पार्लियामेंट हाउस में पहुंच गए हैं. अब हम वहां का आंखों देखा हाल बोले, अरे ये इसने चेयर उठा के उसके सिर पे मारा, अरे बाबा रे बाबा. तो पार्लियामेंट हाउस में there is a lot of confusion, and the confusion is, it's like a ras leela going on over there. So the third kind of a person, he says, देख करने वाला मैं, मेरे को ही सब करना पड़ता है, लेकिन बोलना पड़ता है बॉस ने किया. I have no choice, no. Do I have a choice? बॉस ने बोला जा पानी का एक लोटा लेके आना, तो लेके आना पड़ता है बॉस. वो भी imagine I have to go all the way to France and get him Evian water because he drinks Evian, sir. He is not a very small guy. Okay, he is a very fancy guy. So even the milk has to come from fancy cows. All right. Yeah. Krishna, you have to understand, he doesn't wear some designer wear clothes. Fancy Basri also has to be made by the greatest musician in the world. So he is a very fancy fellow, and everything around him, which is called the gopis. Okay, this is the domain of the devotees. Third domain. So a devotee of Krishna is always going to do everything, and he is never going to say I did it. But he has to do everything. And finally वो गाना भी गाता है. Okay, what गाना है ना? बॉस कौन है मालूम है क्या, बॉस कौन है मालूम है क्या. या सॉरी बॉस, ऐसा ही बोलना पड़ता है, नहीं तो उधर कृष्णा का पुंगी टाइट करके रख देगा वो. आई एम सॉरी आई एम यूजिंग दिस मुंबई लैंग्वेज, बट दिस इज व्हाट ही डज. ओके, करता कुछ नहीं है. लाइक अपर्णा विल ऑलवेज से, भाई को बोलो क्या, भाई को बोलो क्या. So होता कुछ नहीं है, लेकिन खाली ऐसा बोलेगा ना, भाई को बोलो क्या, ऐसा बोला तो सब हवा टाइट हो जाता है पूरा दुनिया का. So भाई करता कुछ नहीं है. भाई का राज में क्या चलता है मालूम है क्या? ए कोंडिया चल फोन लगा. You know these are the old Govinda films. Okay, have you seen those beautiful Govinda and all the films? There is that bald fellow used to be there, and the fat guy used to be there, and the thin guy used to be there. What Chhatri, some Chhatri used to call, and something, and he will say, hey, phone laga, chal. So it is like that, Bhai is like that great fellow. Okay, Don. खाली डॉन का नाम पे पूरा वसूली होता है, समझा? तो द थर्ड टाइप ऑफ डिवोटी इज एक्चुअली सपोज टू डू ऑल द वसूली, बट डॉन का नाम पे पूरा करने का. बोला डॉन ने बोला है आज का हफ्ता दिया नहीं तूने, तो सब आदमी लोग निकाल के देते हैं, देना पड़ता है. So do you understand? These are the three kinds of people. The first kind of a person is the one who says God is the doer. Second is a person who says God is not the doer, sorry. His deities are the doer, that means Prakriti does everything. The third, सब मेरे को ही करना पड़ता है, लेकिन बॉस का नाम पे करना पड़ता है सब. So these are the devotees. The devotees have to do everything for the Lord. So you will find that a Mirabai will have to take a diktara and go tiu 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 all the time. And when she is given even that glass of poison, na, she will say, "Bhai, तेरे नाम से मैं पी रही हूँ, देख लेना जरा." And she will drink and say, "अच्छा ठीक है, बहुत अच्छा है, पहली धार का है." Srini is going to get scandalized when he hears all this. What do you say? Are you getting scandalized? So the thing is, it is like this. It's a very interesting way of looking at these three kinds of people. Got the answer? So anybody can fall under these three categories. The general populace falls under the first category. They attribute it to some divine thing, or they attribute it to luck, or they say this is my destiny, और ये ऐसा ही होने का था. Second person says the deities are doing it. Now let us say, for example, people like Steve Jobs, or Microsoft guys, or all these Walmart fellows and everything, all the great people in the world. I worked very hard, I made this company. ऐसे बोलने वाले भी है ना कि नहीं है? You see, they fall under the category number one. The God which they are attributing is, they basically, a lot of these people are atheists, they are non-believers. They believe that after doing hard work they got it. So they all fall under general category. Okay, general category, first AC, second AC, ऐसा सब general class, second class or first class और क्या क्या है ना वैसा है. So this is what it is. So I think I have ended the. If you have any question, you can ask me now, or we can start straight away. Jump to. All right. Yes. No. No. Okay. No questions. Okay. So where were we, Brito? We are in Canto 2, Chapter 10. Is it? 3 Canto 3 I need. Okay, by the time I get the book, can we have one question or something like that? Yes, we were talking about Vidura and Maitri. Correct, you are right about it. The question is being asked in question hai, where Shaunaka Rishi is asking Suta Goswami, who is telling what Sukdev told to Parikshit, and Sukdev telling to Parikshit is telling him that what Maitreya Muni told Vidura. So now you can see, how many things are there right inside each other. So I think we have ended this. So let us go to blue color book. Yours is also blue, is it? No. Oh, good for you. Yeah, you must be the devotee of Krishna. That is why everything is blue. Okay.
He is the blue-eyed boy of Krishna.
Oh, is it? तो अमेरिका में जाके ब्लू आइज का क्या ये डाला है? Contact lens. Okay, so we will do, this is Canto 3. We are doing Chapter 1, Text 1. That is. This is question by Vidura. Sukdev Goswami said, after renouncing his prosperous home and entering, can you please shut the door? And entering the forest, King Vidura, the great devotee, asked his question to his grace Maitreya Rishi. So now I told you, no? Shaunaka Rishi talking to Suta Goswami. who is telling the story of what happened between Sukdev and Parikshit. Got it? These two guys are talking and saying, oh, Sukdev did like this. Sukdev is telling stories to Parikshit, and in the story he is going to tell one of the very small versions of what happened. Vidura. Now you know Vidura from the Mahabharata, correct? Now Vidura is fed up of his life, so he has gone to the Himalayas. In the Himalayas, he meets Maitreya, Rishi, a Rishi Muni called Maitreya. Now, in Maitreya Rishi's ashram, he gets realization. So, what are the questions that Vidura asked Maitreya, so that what led him towards this realization? So, this is how the question is. Got the whole context clear? Good. What else is there to say about the residential house of Pandavas? Sri Krishna, the Lord as your minister, he used to enter that house as if it was his own, and he did not take any care of Duryodhana's house. Now, Sukdev Goswami said, after renouncing his prosperous home and entering the forest, King Vidura, the great devotee, asked this question to His Grace Maitreya Rishi. What is the question? What else is there to say about the residential house of Pandavas? You see, Pandavas had residential house, means right from Indraprastha to his Lakshagraha and to everything were their houses, isn't it? So, Krishna was one person who could enter and come out over there without, see, if you try to enter any of these IT companies, पहला तुमको ये आइडेंटिफिकेशन देना पड़ेगा, वो करना पड़ता है, वो have you ever tried to enter any building? And imagine मेरे जैसा, I mean yesterday I had to go to one place, okay, and they told me you better carry your passport. You see, if you don't carry your passport, they won't allow you inside. Matlab, they have more belief in the passport than they have in the Tobda. So then only they gave me visitor pass. Right? So I had to submit my passport over there. Then they did something and they finally I had to put one कुत्ते का बिल्ला in, है ना, बैंगलोर म्युनिसिपल कॉर्पोरेशन का जो रहता है ना, वैसा एक गले में डाल के घूम के जाना पड़ा, विजिटर करके. So वैसा. So imagine in case of Krishna, he never had to go through protocol. First and foremost, he never had to register with the reception saying that I have come from Dwarka or I have come from Mathura. No registration required, straight entry. So Sri Krishna, the Lord of everything, acted as a minister. He used to enter the house as if it were his own, and he did not take any care of Duryodhana's house. Duryodhana's house, Duryodhana was the enemy. Now imagine, think about this, okay? Now now one is HP and one is IBM, let us say. Both are at each other's throat. अभी HP वाला IBM में गया तो उसको है ना अंडर माइक्रोस्कोप रखेंगे वो लोग, बराबर है कि नहीं? हाँ, if Pepsi person goes to Coca-Cola company, think about it. That fellow will be followed around with 10 other people. ये आदमी क्यों आया है इधर? Because that's a big deal. So Krishna used to keep on entering in and out. He used to go to the Pandavas' residence, and he never bothered about. So the king asked Sukdev Goswami, where and when did the meeting and discussion take place between Saint Vidura and his grace Maitreya Muni? Kindly oblige my lord and describe this to us. Saint Vidura was a great and a pure devotee of the Lord, and therefore his question to his grace Rishi Maitri must have been very purposeful, on the highest level, and approved by learned circles. Sri Suta Goswami said, the great sage Sukdev Goswami was highly experienced and was pleased with the king. Thus being questioned by the king, he said to him, please hear the topics attentively. It's a very simple thing, okay? If Vidura would have asked, sir, where is the water cooler? Well, either imagine he is going to Maitreya Swami and asking, where is the water cooler? बोला ये गलत आदमी है, किधर आ गया है मेरे पास पूछने को, get out from here. So you can't go and ask the boss some stupid questions, okay? You are going to meet the MD of the company. You better have all your questions ready. That guy has looked at his diary and he's given, I got only 15 minutes for you. And in the 15 minutes, he's going to get 10 minutes worth of calls, okay? So you better be ready for the 5 minutes in which in 1 minute he's going to ask you, are you going to have coffee? No, thank you. Okay, we can proceed. Okay, these are all the things that are going to happen. Have you ever been to a chairman's office anytime? Yes, and if they have given you 15 minutes, you must be a very, very great person to give you 15 minutes first. Okay, so now if I am going to waste those 5 minutes or 10 minutes which I'm going to get with the boss with all frivolous questions, can I use your washroom? Look, you can't use those type of questions over there. You have to say very precisely what the questions are. So now think about it. This is the most important thing which you have to learn from these lines. In our spiritual discussion, oh, Padma has written, Krishna had a through fare. Through fare, okay. He had green signal always, by the way. Okay. Now, whereas when you are in a spiritual discussion with the master, you have come to him with a lot of contemplation. Got it? He has given you certain teachings. You have contemplated on it. You have cogitated on it. You have come with very fine questions. So your questions have to be fully refined. Got it? So they have to be precise, to the point, telling him, asking him exactly what you are required to do. Right? It's not a rambling session like mine. Okay? मेरा गाड़ी जुमरी तलैया से कलकत्ता, कलकत्ता से चेन्नई, चेन्नई से पता नहीं ऐसा घूम घूम के फाइनली दिल्ली पहुंचती है. ऐसा नहीं कर सकते. When you ask a question, the question has to be precise. The answers can go rambling. Okay, one small diversion over here. The question which was asked yesterday to me was, if I give an example, should we use the example? See, the examples are given so that they can be thought about. The Supreme Divine Consciousness can never be understood. Okay? Suppose if I ask you, can you tell me the taste of oranges? I have never seen an orange, so tell me the taste of an orange. You know, it's the most difficult thing in the world. बोलेगा नींबू मालूम है? अच्छा, उसके जैसा रहता है. Okay. Orange, वो खट्टा रहता है. Then I'll ask you, इमली के जैसा क्या? नहीं, orange is खट्टा. Okay, it's orange in color. Okay, you mean orange in color? अपना flag का orange है वैसा कुछ तो भी? वो बोले हाँ. बोला फैंटा का कलर है वैसा? हाँ बराबर. फैंटा के जैसा रहता है? नहीं. You know, it's so difficult to explain what an orange is to a person who has never eaten orange. So you have to give 100 examples. Those examples can never be understood. All right. So we have to go rambling finally to come to the answer. So when the master teaches, he has to give so many examples so that you can understand one simple thing. For him it is simple because he has eaten the orange, he knows what it is. To tell somebody else who has never eaten an orange is the very difficult thing to in the world. So he has to go rambling all over, इधर उधर 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 उधर, फाइनली किधर तो भी खोपड़ी में घुसेगा. So that is the reason why like that. But when you are asking a question, you have to be precise. Understood? So that is the reason why the precise. Sukdev Goswami said, King Dhritarashtra had become blind under the influence of impious desires to nourish his dishonest sons. And thus he set fire to the lacquer house to burn his fatherless nephews, the Pandavas. Remember Lakshagraha, lacquer house, you know. So we are going back slightly to the times of Pandavas and all. So that was there. The king did not forbid his son Dushasana's abominable action by grabbing the hair of Draupadi, the wife of the godly king Yudhishthir. and even though her tears washed the red dust on her breast. Now we are talking about what happened during the time of the entire Mahabharata, right? First, Dhritarashtra, he was blinded. Actually, physically he was blind, but in this line they are talking about he was blinded by what his sons were doing. He never paid attention to it. The second is the king did not forbid his son. Dushasan caught hold of Draupadi's hair. Okay. Now you know why modern women nowadays don't have long hairs. Yeah. They don't want any Dushasan to do anything. So, Yudhishthir, who was born without an enemy, was unfairly defeated in gambling. But because he had taken the vow of truthfulness, he went to the forest. When he came back in the course and begged the return of his rightful share of the kingdom, he was refused by Dhritarashtra, who was overwhelmed by illusion. And this we are leading towards why Vidura has gone away. Okay. Lord Krishna was sent by Arjuna into the assembly as a spiritual master of the whole world, and although his words were heard by some, like Bhishma, as pure nectar, it was not so by the others, who were completely bereft of the last farthing of past pious works. The king, that is Dhritarashtra or Duryodhana, did not take the words of Lord Krishna very seriously. Pandavas came back from their Vanvas. They went to ask for their share of the kingdom. They were refused. So Krishna went on their behalf to go and plead for it. But nobody listened to him. When Vidura was invited by his elder brother for consultation, he entered the house and gave instructions which are exactly to the point. His advice was well known, and instructions by Vidura were approved by the expert ministers of the state. So, who was consulted during this particular period? Vidura was consulted. Vidura is a relative of Dhritarashtra, so he was also consulted. So Vidura said, "You must now return the legitimate share of Yudhishthir, who has no enemies and who has been forbearing through untold sufferings due to your offense. He is waiting with his younger brother, among whom is revengeful Bhima, breathing heavily like a snake. Surely you are afraid of him." So, who Dhritarashtra has gone in consultation to his brother, asking Vidura ki है ना बस अभी मैं क्या करने का. So Vidura is telling him, see, you have taken the kingdom, you better return it back. Lord Krishna had accepted the sons of Pritha as his kinsmen, and all the kings of the world are with Lord Sri Krishna. He is present in his home with all his family members, the kings and the princes of the Yadu dynasty, who were conquered an unlimited number of rulers, and he is their lord. You are maintaining offense personified, Duryodhana, as an infallible son. But he is envious of Lord Krishna, and because you are thus maintaining a non-devotee of Krishna, you are devoid of all auspicious qualities. Relieve yourself of all this ill fortune as soon as possible and do good to the whole family. So far, if you have not understood, let me tell you this, what is happening over there. Yeah, what is happening over there is, in this assembly, Krishna has gone. He is pleading on behalf of the Pandavas. Dhritarashtra, Duryodhana and everybody have said, no, we can't give you the kingdom back. So Dhritarashtra has gone in consultation, Third Empire. Okay, मालूम है ना थर्ड एम्पायर ऐसा करते हैं वहां पे. और विदुरा उधर थर्ड एम्पायर है, उसको जाके पूछने के लिए कि बॉस अभी क्या करने का, आउट की इन. So like that he has gone to ask the Vidura, and Vidura over there is telling him, see, देखो पंगा नहीं लेने का क्या, कृष्णा का है, कृष्णा आके बैठा है उधर. You see, if somebody sends an emissary, like just imagine, if I am, there was one very beautiful case which happened. In the case, there was one very poor man and he was being deprived of a property by somebody. All right. So he was losing the case. Because the other person, the other party was winning the case. Finally, what happened was, one of the lawyers of defense, what he did was, he said, My professor is there. Okay, can I just tell him to handle this case? And the professor said, yes, this is an open and shut case where your client has been deprived of the property. This is a true story, by the way. So he says, tomorrow morning I will make an entrance in the court. And this professor walks inside the court. And imagine, even the judge stands up to say, good morning, sir. Can you imagine this happening? Because this teacher has not only taught the judge, but has also taught all the lawyers over there. And he's written the law, and he is such a great person that just by his appearance, even the judge had to get up. And the case was open and shut immediately. Thak. Just because of the great man's presence, sometimes things are sorted out fatak like that. So when भाई को बोलूं क्या, ऐसा अगर बोले ए उसको जाकर छोड़ देना जा, ऐसा बोलेगा ना तो खलास, स्टोरी उधर ही द एंड हो जाएगा कभी कभी. हाँ, बट इधर भाई आया है कृष्णा, मतलब भाई को बोलूं क्या, अरे भाई खुद आया है, फिर भी है ना विदुरा को जाके वो लोग पूछ रहे हैं कि अभी कैसा करने का. They don't want to give the kingdom. Got it? This is where we are. So while speaking thus, Vidura, whose personal character was esteemed by respectable persons, was insulted by Duryodhana, who was swollen with anger and whose lips were trembling. Duryodhana was in the company of Karna, his younger brothers, and his maternal uncle Shakuni, who asked him to come here, this son of a kept mistress. He is so crooked that he spies on the interests of the enemy against those on whose support he has grown up. Toss him out of the palace immediately and leave him with only his bread. Who is talking about this? Duryodhana is telling Vidura this. What is he saying? Who is this guy who has come? He is talking about Krishna. Understand? He is talking about Krishna. कौन आया है इधर? समझता क्या है अपने आप को? हैं? Who asked him to come here? किसने बोला था बीच में आने के लिए? उसका कुछ जाता है इधर? कोई है उसका इधर? You know, like that. I mean, imagine if all these dialogues were written by Hindi film industry. Hey, क्या है? कौन समझता है अपने आप को? मालूम नहीं है क्या हम कौन है इधर? You know, like that. You know, something like that. So this guy is talking his arrogance, anger. He's very angry, Duryodhana. He doesn't want to give the kingdom, so he said this verse. Thus being pierced by arrows through his ears and afflicted to the core of the heart, Vidura placed his bow on the door and quit his brother's palace. He was very sorry, for he considered the acts of external energy to be supreme. He knew who Krishna was. Vidura knew who Krishna was. So he felt very hurt and he said, I'm sorry, I don't want to hear such type of words. And he left the kingdom. So now we are taking up Vidura's story. We are not talking about Duryodhana and what happened. By his piety, Vidura achieved the advantages of a pious Kaurava. After leaving Hastinapur, he took shelter in many places of pilgrimage, which are the Lord's lotus feet, which desire to gain a high order of pious life. He traveled to holy places where thousands of transcendental forms of the Lord are situated. That means he took his Tirtha Yatra. Vidura then visits various places. You see, person goes to various places. This happens to a lot of people, by the way. Those who are spiritually inclined, they don't like to live along with people who are very material worldly. So what they do is, they cannot take that constant pressure on them. So people like even Shankaracharya, now here we are talking about Vidura. You will find that even Buddha, Siddhartha, okay, you can think in terms of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. You name it, Mirabai, Ramakrishna Paramahansa. All these people, they cannot bear the things that are being said in the material world, because people are thinking in terms of पैसा कैसा कमाएगा, ये कैसा करेगा, वो कैसा करेगा, दारू पीने का, ये करने का, वो पूरा दुनियादारी का बात सुनते सुनते वो थक गए हैं. So they want to go on pilgrimage and all that. So you will find that all these people that I named went on pilgrimages. Got it or no? They all go on pilgrimage because they want to cool down their mind, because they can't hear the words, so they all want to go to these pilgrimage places. All right. So he began to travel alone, thinking only of Krishna, through various places like Ayodhya, Dwarka and Mathura. He traveled where the air, hill, orchard, river and lakes are all pure and sinless, and where the forms of the unlimited decorated the temples. Thus he performed the pilgrim's progress. And while so traversing the earth, he simply performed duties to please the Supreme Lord Hari. His occupation was pure and independent. He was constantly sanctified by taking his bath in the holy places. Although he was in the dress of a mendicant and had no hair dressing, nor a bed on which to lie, thus he was always unseen by his various relatives. You see, even in today's day and age, suppose you go with long hairs like Brito, they will come and ask you, what happened Brito, you got long beard and long hair, what, some ladki ne tere ko धोखा दिया क्या? I mean, पहला question उधर से चालू होएगा. Yes. And the next question they'll say, oh, you are becoming a sadhu, is it? What is this? You know, I mean, these are the common questions that will be asked. So what Brito will do, Brito will put one, you know, like the Arabs, one thing on top of his head and say, no, I don't want to be seen by anybody over here. But you can't do that in US. They'll all hang you. But maybe, you know, you have to become incognito. So you just wear simple clothes and walk away from there. All right. So, Haji. That's an excellent question. Very nice. See, the Krishna that we are talking about is called the Supreme Divine Consciousness. Supreme Divine Consciousness. Okay. The manifest form of the Supreme Divine Consciousness is this person who has come to plead on behalf of the Pandavas. Got it? It is the manifest form of the Lord. Manifestation. In the spiritual world, we are actually not looking at a manifestation. We do not look at manifestation. We look at the Supreme Divine Consciousness. We are seeking God. Seeking God. People sitting in front of Ramakrishna Paramahansa are seeking God. Think about it. Yeah. Think about it like this. You are coming in front of a Sai Baba. Okay. What comes from his mouth is Amar, is the most divine thing. Yet Sai Baba will say, hey, open the Bhagavad Gita and let us do that verse. Jesus Christ will say, Father in heaven. Sir, you are the boss. Father, heaven, we are not bothered. Nobody acknowledges Jesus Christ. So Jesus Christ is using proxy server. He says, Father in heaven. Okay. Same way, Ramakrishna Paramahansa, who is an avatar of Kali himself, says Kalima. He point out in the wrong direction. Because human beings do not attribute a physical form to the divine. Think about it. If Krishna has to appear in front of you, do you really believe you will recognize him? Imagine करना, एक तो without बांसुरी, you know what he will be doing? He will be with a iPhone 5C, 5S, something like that. Yeah, dude, what to do, man? करके वो बात कर रहा है, and he is listening to the latest song of Miley Cyrus. And he is doing what? वो कौन सा डांस है आजकल, सिर के ऊपर, पैर के ऊपर, पता नहीं क्या क्या करते हैं वो. What? That new dance, that African dance style. What is that called?
Twerk.
Twerking. And imagine Krishna is doing twerking today. You can't recognize a Krishna like this today. And imagine somebody coming like Krishna. He's blue, painted blue, Asian paints blue. Okay, yeah, and he's having a basari like this. First thing we'll ask him, boss, which drama company you're coming from? We don't believe. Don't you understand this? We don't believe in the Krishna that is there in front of us. We think Krishna is some blue guy who is coming with a basari, who has got number of those female, all this, God knows, beautiful gang of females around him, and then he is a Chalu character and all that. Boss, today he is doing twerking. Today he is listening to Miley Cyrus, and he says, "Oh, Justin Bieber, I love you, Justin." ऐसा करके वो बोलेगा और फिर बोलेगा, "No, oh, did you see this movie?" You can't recognize a Krishna today. Please let me tell you this much. He's a very strange character. Okay, so we have got fixation and ideas which we are thinking about from the past. Okay. Yesterday, by the way, a very funny thing happened. You know Nitish Bharadwaj? You know Nitish Bharadwaj, isn't it? You don't know. Nitish Bharadwaj is the guy who played Krishna's role in Mahabharat serial. Got it? Nitish Bharadwaj. Nitish Bharadwaj is a friend ka friend. So in my world, like they say in LinkedIn, A knows B, B knows C, C knows D, like that. Okay. So I know Nitish Bharadwaj from the third levels. Okay. So I was reading his pile of comments that he has written. He is a director of a new movie. The book has been written by Sudha Murthy. Okay. And it is some Pitru something, I don't know what it is. Okay. Pitru Run. Pitra means father. Rin means I don't know what. What is Rin? I owe it to my dad. I owe it to my dad is the English translation. Okay. And don't tell Sudha Murthy this is what I translated. She will bang me. Okay. So this guy, he has given some, something about some rape cases and stuff like that. You should see his columns, where people have written comments. Jai Shri Krishna. They are addressing him as Krishna and all that. I mean, it was so hilarious, the comments were so hilarious. Gurudev, मैं आपकी ही आज्ञा पे जा रहा हूँ. Oh my God, it was so funny. You should see his comments, and you will be zapped at the comments that he is. Okay. Now think, if Krishna were to really come today, do you think he is going to come like this kind of thing? You don't know. So Vidura, even if he knows Krishna is there in front of him, he is blinded by his Maya. You cannot understand. Nobody can understand Krishna even if he is bang in front of that person. Because we have got fixed ideas about Krishna. We think Krishna is some blue color guy. He is having like this. ऐसा सिर के अंदर एक है ना ऐसा पूंछड़ी लगा के बैठ रहा है. And he is always crooked guy like this, and he walks like that. Think about it. We are always thinking like we have some fixed conceived notions. Jesus Christ will come tomorrow. He will have a daddy. He will all do ऐसा करके धीरे धीरे से चलेगा. White color का clothes पहनेगा. Jesus Christ, if he comes today, you think he's going to be dressed like this? Boss, he would be dressed like a pair kaja or all those fancy stuff and all that. Okay, he would be wearing Jimmy Choo shoes. Okay, why would Jesus Christ want to wear something which is 2000 years old? Socho na. And imagine Krishna wearing something which is 7 or 8,000 years old. Oh sorry boss, मेरे को इमेजिन करना वो पूरा बॉडी को है ना चंदन का लेप लगा के आया तो यू कैन इमेजिन नोबडी इज गोइंग टू रिकॉग्नाइज इट. दे थिंक ये इसका सटकेला है बॉस. करेक्ट. सो वी कैन नॉट रिकॉग्नाइज अ ट्रू कृष्णा. We cannot. Nobody in this world will recognize him. So even if Krishna is coming and telling the people over there, सी पांडवा के लिए जरा है ना गद्दी खाली कर दो. Vidura is thinking now I have to go and search for Krishna. So this is something which we also do. Okay, Jesus is in front of us, Krishna is in front of us, yet we will go to the temple or the church looking for a Krishna over there. We don't recognize him. Got it? That is his Maya. भूल भुलैया में डाल के रखता है वो, समझे? So how big is the chapter now? Okay, now I am going to stop over here because in the next one line, 20th line, because I have to go. So while traversing the earth, he simply performed duties while pleasing the Supreme Lord Hari. His occupation was pure and independent. He was constantly sanctified by taking his bath in holy places. Although he was in the dress of a mendicant and had no hairdressing nor a bed on which to lie, thus he was always constantly unseen by his various relatives. Thus, when he was in the land of the Bharatvarsha, traveling to the places of pilgrimage, he visited Prabhasa Kshetra. Prabhasa Kshetra, do you know what is Prabhasa Kshetra? Prabhasa is the place where Krishna is going to finally meet the end, Janaganamana. Okay, Prabhasa is the place where Krishna and his entire family was destroyed. At that time, Maharaj Yudhishthir was the emperor and held the world under the one military strength and one flag. So we will stop over here and we will continue from here tomorrow. But I'm sure, like this question, you will also come up with some questions tomorrow so that we can take. Okay. So last question, you have anything to ask me? No?